So this is 1 year on. I've had the car a year now, so I'd like to tell you about some of the things that I've found. I'm not connected with any organisation or body, so I'd like to go through one or two things with you that I found with the car. It is a fantastic little car to start with, but there are one or two things that I'm not too happy with. So let's talk about the nice things. This is a BMW i3 with a range extender. And really, to be honest, I couldn't do without it because the infrastructure is not really good enough. This is a little petrol engine inside here, and you fill up the petrol engine from here, and it's got me out of trouble many, many times. So it really is important that if you do buy an electric car and you're going on fairly long distances, you do need some alternative method of powering the car. This is a purely electric car, but it does have this generator, which is, as I said, has got me out of trouble many times. The infrastructure is really not good enough. I use EcoCity quite a bit going up the motorways, fairly reliable, but the only trouble with that, when you get a car being charged up, although it has 2 points for charging at the charging point on the motorway, you will find that it will only charge one car at a time, which is a little bit annoying when you arrive and there's somebody already on it, although your particular charge point or your type of charger, which is the Type 2 on this one, we've got it here. This is a Type 2 charger and it fits on here. And generally speaking, I charge it from home, so it's a Type 2 charger with this car. It's been going a couple of years, this car now. The treads really hasn't been too bad. I thought it might be a little bit heavy on tyres, but it wasn't. So I'm quite pleased about that. The car itself is brilliant. It takes hills in its stride. It does, to be honest, something between 70 and 80 miles to a charge, although I've done 90 miles on one charge. It's not bad going, really. So it does mean that I need to top it up occasionally as I go up the motorways, or you rely on the range extender to generate extra electricity. One thing I have noticed is that the car has a silly key fob, which is, you can see here. It's really has let me down one or twice. I've been to a hotel and I found that due to the design of it, my pocket tends to push on the opening things, and if you push on it, of course, and it's kept down, the windows will open, and of course if you're carrying your luggage up to a hotel room and your keys being pushed accidentally, the windows will open, and therefore you don't know that it's left. So this is rather a silly design, and the BMW really need to do something about it. I originally purchased several of these cards for access to charging points, but really I ended up with just two. Source East, that covers the London area as well, but the best I found was Ecotricity for currently free charging at motorway service stations. There's generally a small charge between £10 and £20 to cover the administration cost, but they are most useful. But as I said, Ecotricity is the best one for me that I've found I've used. I have this home charger installed, and it was partly paid by the government, but I went for a 16 amp, but if you can go for a 32 amp delivering 7.2 kilowatts, that's better. The light flashes depending on the mode, but blue indicates that it's charging, and green when it's fully charged. White is when you can remove the connection. We'll go inside and have a look. In the bonnet, which can get a little bit wet inside, which stores all the cables. This one is in fact the standard one that will fit into your house socket, but be aware if you're going to extend this to this thing, you do need a beefier extension lead.
but I found that you do really need a more robust one like this to connect up to the charging units on the motorways or public charging units. So this is essential if you're going to rely on the charging units up and down the country. But I have used it quite a few times on Ecotricity. As you can see, it's quite a beefy thing, and they're all stored inside the bonnet here, but it does get a little bit wet. And you can see the cable being used here, and the green light flashing. As I said, only one unit can be used at a time.
I'll just wait for the ducks to land on the Thames here. What I would like to say is this car is very suitable for older people who find difficulty in getting out of the car, and I find this is very useful. An i8, of course, wouldn't be my cup of tea because I find it difficult to get out. But after a long journey, the seats are very comfortable and it really is a fantastic car. One thing I don't like about the car is when you're parking parallel in a car park, in a supermarket car park, and you want to put something into the car, then of course it is a bit of a problem. You can open this door so far, and this door will open so far, but if there's a car next to you, it is very difficult to, of course, get your shopping in or get the children in or whatever. So this suicide door is a little bit awkward, not the best of ideas, but you get used to it. But it is very difficult, so you've got to make sure you've got plenty of space on this side of the car so you can get in.
It has a very futuristic interior, very comfortable indeed. It has a natty control column, which is again so easy to use, and it also has two display panels. One, of course, is the sat nav, and the other is the main control panel that you can view at all times. It has a very natty remote app, which is very, very useful. The remote app for your smartphone is very good. It can check to see whether your car's locked or the windows are closed. Extremely useful, but one most important thing is that you can preheat the car remotely under the preconditioning, and it is so useful that it stops any icing up and fogging up of the windows as you drive away the first thing in the morning. There's also the facility to see how far you can go on the existing range. The remote app gives lots of other statistical data, which is very, very useful. It tells you percentage of efficiency in the last trip and many other details, as well as the range of the Rex engine and the amount of range in the electricity or the batteries.
One thing I don't like about